Hey guys, welcome back, and today I wanted to talk to you guys about limited run games and more specifically my issues with the company itself. So I started buying games from them in 2019, and the first game I purchased from them was Corpse Killer on PlayStation 4. So the reason I bought this game in particular was because it was a FMV game, and that was the first time I discovered that genre of games because I didn't know that was a thing. And I saw that game was being offered on their website, so I decided to give the website a shot and see if it was legit or if it was just a scam. But it actually was legit, so that was when I started buying more games from them after I received the game. And up until recently, I actually slowed down from buying from their website, and that's mostly because of what recently happened to me. So to give a little background, I guess, would be to talk about the most common complaint from people for Limited Run is the shipping process that they do. When you pre-order games from Limited Run, more specifically the standard editions, it usually takes between 2 to 3 months at minimum to get your game. But sometimes it can actually take longer than that and even more than a year. Over time, Limited Run has changed the way they do their shipping process multiple times, and for some reason, somehow, the shipping process has become worse and worse with each change they've made. And obviously it was unintentional, but it is what happened. So the main reason I'm making this video in particular is because my most recent experience with the company was so not negative but so disappointing. And what I'm talking about specifically is back in August they had a blowout sale for their convention variant covers, and you were able to order this over the weekend that they offered it, and they advertised that everything that was up for sale was in hand and ready to ship. So I assumed my item would ship within a week or 2 weeks at most, but that's not what happened. And the title that I was specifically looking forward to picking up from their website, and I did, was Plumbers Don't Wear Ties Definitive Edition, the variant Comic-Con cover. And like I said before, it did not ship when I thought it was going to. So about a month and a half went by without it shipping or anything or any updates from Limited Run. Video Games Plus had a new batch of titles come in for sale, and among the titles was Plumbers Don't Wear Ties Definitive Edition. And at that point I've become impatient, and I decided to pick up a copy from Video Games Plus instead because I didn't know how long it would take Limited Run to actually ship it out. So when I browsed the Video Games Plus website, they had the standard editions available as well as the collector's editions, and I decided to pick up the collector's edition of the game because I looked at the contents that came with it, and I decided to just get it because I thought it was worth it, and I wanted to support Video Games Plus, which is my favorite website to buy games from. And what I really like to mention about Video Games Plus is the day after I ordered my copy of the game, it shipped and it arrived within a week. And this website is based in Canada, so they have to go through the border and get it all approved and everything, and that arrived faster than anything that I order from Limited Run, even stuff that is in stock and ready to ship as well. So fast forward to about 2 months after I placed my order with Limited Run, I finally had enough of waiting for them to contact me. So I decided to put in a support ticket to see if they can do something about it and just tell me what's going on, why it's taking so long for the game to be shipped. And a couple of days went by and they finally got back to me, and they told me that they escalated my issue with the proper department at their company, and about 2 weeks later they finally shipped the game out, and it finally arrived just the other day. So here's the game itself, and I was a little worried that when the game came in it would just be the standard edition with the regular cover, because I don't know how many games, limited run games, has in stock that are variant covers for this type of stuff. But luckily it came with the cover I paid for, so that's good. But the fact that it took 2 months to get to me is ridiculous when it was advertised that it was supposed to ship not long after I placed the order. And the only reason it shipped to me is because I contacted support. So if I didn't do that, who knows how long it would have taken for it to arrive or even be shipped at all. So my main experience through all of this for this game kind of really made me reevaluate my thoughts on the company, more specifically because, you know, I paid for something and I didn't receive it in the advertised time that they said could have been here. So I've decided to halt buying from them for a while, or at least directly. So I don't want to buy anything from them from their website itself. But if Video Games Plus gets a shipment of their games and one of the games I'm interested in getting, I'll buy it from them instead, because they are very quick to ship and it arrives safely and packaged well. Another reason why I want to stop buying from them specifically is the quality of their games have really declined over the years, and even more so recently, like the last 2 years. So when limited run games first started, within like the first couple years they've been around, usually when you buy a game from them, you get the game itself, of course, you get like a reversible cover, a manual which can vary between an actual instruction booklet, a mini art book, or just like a 2-page, I guess, manual, which was only like the warning label inside the little booklet. It was just a 1-page thing, but it was something that you get within the game itself in the case. But now they don't do that anymore. And another thing, they used to come with your game for their numbered releases was a trading card, but they have since discontinued doing that. And the reason they gave was that the manufacturing of the trading cards themselves took longer than manufacturing the game discs. So they thought that it wasn't worth waiting an extra couple months just to get the trading card, even though they already have the games in their warehouse, which I understand. But you know, it was something extra that you got with your game that was like, you've grown accustomed to getting these cards. So once they were no longer offered, you noticed, you know. And alongside the quality of the games, the physical copies themselves, the quality of the games they chose to release physically also declined, or at least were very questionable. Like for instance, Joe and Silent Bob, Felix the Cat. Most people don't care about those games, and most people that do care about those games probably already have it. And a lot of these games are games that aren't very good. I don't know why limited run games thought it was a good idea to re-release these games. And you know, a lot of these games actually have licenses that have been expired, and limited run actually had to cease selling some of these games. But limited run games nowadays gets licenses to put video games out physically. Like, it doesn't matter what the game is, they just want to get it out there just to get it out there. Like a lot of the Kemco JRPGs that are mobile games, a lot of those got physical copies for Switch, PlayStation 5, and PlayStation 4. And you know, these games are available on mobile, but like, these are games that aren't very popular, they're very niche. And to be fair, a lot of people that buy these games aren't going to play them. So I don't know why they even bother putting out games that no one's really going to buy. And another part of the decline of the quality of their games is the games themselves. So limited run games in the early years, and I still think it's their motto to be forever physical, and they strive to have the most complete copy of the game on their cartridges and their discs. And not a lot of games, but some games over the years have either gotten patches after the limited run physical copy came out, or there are game breaking bugs that are on the disc and cartridges that render the physical copy useless. So that's like a really huge deal for, you know, people that buy physical games. And that part of their company is very important. They made it very important themselves with their motto, but like, you have to understand that their consumers are people that like to buy physical copies of the games, that love to collect them. And there's like two sides to the coin. There's people that want a physical copy of the game so they can play the game and enjoy it. Then there's the collector's side of it, where those types of people just buy the games to have them in their collection, keep them sealed, keep them on the shelf on display, and like to really like admire the physical copy. But they don't necessarily want to open it because they either have the game digitally already or they don't want to bring the value down. So those are like the two types of people that buy games from them, and they know that. And I want to get into the controversies that they put themselves into more recently. And the first one is the way they handled their ex-community manager. So they fired their ex-community manager because of some old tweets that were brought to their attention. And these were like 6-year-old, like half a decade old tweets. And the reason why it was brought to their attention is because an individual was offended that their ex-community manager was excited and looking forward to Hogwarts Legacy. And as soon as they saw that their ex-community manager expressed excitement for it, they decided to dig through their tweets and send that tweet to their boss. And unfortunately, the company bent the knee and fired their ex-community manager with no warning or anything really. And, you know, understandably, they got backlash for this, and they were more than likely bombarded with refund requests. And as you know, or if you don't know, in the early years, Limited Run Games was adamant about no refunds. They said once you place that order, you can't cancel it no matter what, which it actually wasn't true. You were able to cancel your pre-orders, but you would have to go through support and basically threaten to get your bank or your credit card company involved to get a refund. And once you do that, they cancel the order and they give you your refund, but they also banned you from the website itself, so you're not able to make any purchases anymore. So that was like a double-edged sword sort of thing. But yeah, they got bombarded with a lot of refund requests, and people swore never to buy games from them again, which is understandable. But, you know, that wasn't like the biggest controversy they found themselves in. That was like the first one that really gave them a really bad time. Now the more recent one is the one that really did the most damage, and that was when it comes to reproductions. So Limited Run Games have delved into reproductions over the years, but they kind of just dabbled. They didn't really go full in on it. So over the years, they put out Star Wars Episode 1 Racer for the N64. They made a reproduction of that. And the only real reason you would want that is for the packaging. So for the people that actually just collect games and just likes to display them. Most people that are like that probably bought those games because they were packaged in like how you would see an action figure packaged back in the day, like the Star Wars figures. So that's how the games came, and they knew what they were doing, but you were basically just paying for the packaging and for the purple cartridge or whatever color cartridge it was, which was severely overpriced because I think it was like between $30 to $45. And you can find Star Wars Episode 1 Racer for the N64 at garage sales or any convention for a couple dollars. So it's not a rare game or anything. So that's what they started doing. But more recently, they started doing 3DO games. And the one I'm talking about specifically is a game called The D. And this is a very expensive 3DO game that is very sought after. So a lot of people that are part of that 3DO community were excited that this game was being reproduced and put on 3DO for, you know, a very substantial less amount of money. So once the game went up for pre-order and the pre-order ended and it finally was in the hands of the customers, someone decided to actually open up the game and try to play it on their 3DO, and it wouldn't work. So he decided to put the game in the computer and figure out what's going on and look at the files and everything, and he discovered that the game was burnt onto a disc and not printed like it's supposed to be. And limited run games, you know, they print the games. They don't burn the games on CDs or DVDs or Blu-rays. And for some reason, they decided to burn the game onto a disc. And they did explain that printing discs for the 3DO is very complicated and expensive, and they went the burning option because of that. But it's still not an excuse. When you advertise a game to work on the console it's meant for, it's supposed to. Like, you have to keep your word for that. So once this person realized that it was burnt onto a disc, they decided to put it out there and warn people that bought the game that, hey, the game's not going to work. It was burnt onto a disc, and you know, we need to do something about it. So that's what they did, and Limited Run Games did come out and apologized and explained why it was burnt onto a CD, and they offered refunds to every single person that ordered the game, which is really good. But still, the fact that they burnt the game onto a disc and hoping no one would notice is very sketchy, and that sucks. And apparently the 3DO is very sensitive when it comes to game discs, so depending on how the game is printed or how it's burned, it needs to be done in a specific way or else the game won't work. So that was the biggest issue with the 3DO game. So that really did a number to their reputation. And honestly, that was the final nail in the coffin for a lot of people. But I just wanted to really highlight the issues I have with the company, and of course the issues that are known to other people. And if you didn't know about any of these things, then you probably never bought from them. But I just wanted to put that out there. If you are thinking about ordering from them, you should know what they've been involved with. And if you're comfortable buying from them, then go ahead. But if you're not, Video Games Plus is a great alternative. They get most of their games like after a bit, so if you want to wait, you can. So do you buy from Limited Run Games? Do you support them? Or have you since stopped buying from them, or you want to stop buying from them? And did you have any negative experiences with them like I have? So let me know, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you.